Hello and welcome to Midweek Gaming episode 65. We're back once again. It's been a right sunny day in Britain. Not really. It's been raining the majority of the day where I've
Good
been.
British weather.
Yep. Gardens watered. The machine broke down. The washing machine's broken down, but got another one coming tomorrow. But it's all good. And we're back once again. We've got a guest from Xbox Live Party Podcast. I'm a Ghostbuster. How are you doing? And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for having me back on. It's nice to be here.
Good to hear. You've been gaming much, or you've been doing those dozens of reviews? You're always busy.
Dozens of reviews, but I'm playing Rogue Book right now, which is a roguelite deck building game, and it's on like a hex board. It's a very weird one, but I'm quite enjoying it so far. I'm not the biggest roguelike fan, but I don't mind sort of like deck building combat games. So, I definitely sort of recommend people check it out. It's quite cool so far.
I'll have to tell Mr. Goat Force Gaming if he hasn't already heard about it or got a review code. That's his niche. Roguelike and roguelites. He loves them. He's the man on that. But yeah, it sounds good. And VJ, welcome and thanks for coming back on.
He's not here.
Animated Evil, thanks for coming back on. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Unfortunately, I am here, so we're all good, as you can see. Yeah, the only one brave enough to go on camera today. But you know what? I'm showing off the new room. It's getting there. Well, yeah, thanks for having me back, as per usual. Yeah, I'm
have you been up to much gaming-wise, or you've been too busy with work?
Do you know what? Bit of both, really. Gaming-wise, I'm trying to finish a game called Earthlock, which is taking me a lot of time to do. It's a JRPG done by Snowcastle Games. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay. I'm 94 hours in, I think.
What? No, that means it's good. Definitely.
I'm playing that, and it's my second playthrough as well. I played it on launch, and then it relaunched with extra DLC. And then I'm playing Far Cry 6 as well, because I've not played it yet. Well, I've played it a little bit, but so I'll jump back into Far Cry 6 this week as well. Loving it so far.
Nice. And RemovableSanity, how are you?
Oh, hello. Oh, I can't complain. You know, doing a bit like Animated, working my backside off, you know, trying to keep the kids happy. And, when, maybe around the 4 a.m. mark, I might get a good 10 minutes or 20 minutes of playing something.
Oh, no, crazy.
That's the joy of having toddlers. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. Mine are slightly older than yours, I think. But they do, when they wake up, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Everything stops for the kids. Yeah, that's the problem.
That's true.
But, yeah, no.
Well, I struggled to play a lot of online games because there was a point where I had to stop because you get interrupted too much.
You can't pause online games.
No, you can't. No.
It's the old usual thing. But no, playing wise, I have been playing around with Trek to Yomi, which Indie Gamer has done a great review for.
He has.
So I've been really enjoying that. I've actually been playing that solely using xCloud. Which is,
actually, you almost just show off now. You have hyper speed internet now. That's why.
Yeah. Finally,
I bet it's working well. I bet it's working.
It is working. Yeah, it is working really well.
I bet that's nice. The benefit because technically, like, you could now play that in xCloud. If someone's on the TV, you can play on your tablet or whatever. So now fast internet, that would be well worth it.
It does open up a little bit more opportunities, you know, with the 5G and all that malarkey. So that's been exceptionally helpful. So if the kids are just completely focused downstairs, I can nip to the shed, the man cave, and have a quick game on the mobile sort of thing. And and the last thing is I'm at the last boss now of Elden Ring. So if I can hopefully touch wood in this week, I'll be able to finish that, complete that, and move on to other indie games, which I'm hoping I might get a key for. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, especially with all the news that's coming out as well.
Yeah, more and more keeps coming out. But yeah, thanks for coming on. And VJ, thanks for coming on. And how you doing?
I'm all shipshape and Bristol fashion, sir. How are you?
All right, thanks. You've been playing many games recently?
I think like Removable. I completed Elden Ring, and then I just decided to clear up some of my backlog. So I finished off Death's Door, and is that me? The feedback's coming from, or is that
No, that was Removable.
Oh, and,
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And then if it's removable, he's allowed.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed my time with Elden Ring. I can't sort of just skip over that. And Removable knows how much I enjoyed it. And he told me yesterday that apparently there might be some very sumptuous DLC coming out. So I've reinstalled the game. I've reinstalled the game in anticipation. So it gives you an idea. But no, I'm playing Death's Door, Contrast, and I'm trying to finish off Jedi Fallen Order. So that's on my list. Those are all on my list at the moment, and obviously enjoying the odd session of Sea of Thieves when you're awake, Stubsan.
Okay,
Does that happen?
So I'm going to tell the story. Yes, we were playing Sea of Thieves, and we were playing for quite a while. And
Hold on.
Go.
Animated. Can you put on some thematic violin music on in the background while he tells his story?
I'm not going to. I don't want to detract from the misery in his voice when he finds out that we actually got a fair bit of treasure and he missed out. So, go Stubbs.
Yeah. Basically, as people know me, I
Fell asleep.
I was playing for quite a while. It was quite a funny game. It's not
A good 15 solid minutes.
No, a lot longer than that. And in the end, it was like 1 a.m, and I fell asleep and woke up. Then I don't know. I don't quite know what was going on. I didn't. But sorry about that. But
it's all right.
I should just said
it happens. It happens.
It wasn't due to being bored. I was actually having fun on the game.
Just for clarity, VJ, I was your replacement.
Yes.
Just to, I was when you had to leave, I jumped in and took over the mantle and did nothing but shout at them.
Do you know, I ended up having to go to hospital after playing with that lot. Honestly,
I can imagine.
Oh, it was so funny. Because what happened was BMG at the start when we were playing with VJ decided to. I'm sure he fired a firebomb at me. Well, that was it. When I found more firebombs, I kept lobbing them at him. I did. But no, it's a very good game.
I just remember when the ship was on fire, someone, I don't know if it was Darren or BMG, shouting out, "Where's the water?" And I said, "We're surrounded by it."
That does not surprise me.
Do you know what? I think I got them round a little bit, VJ, just by shouting at them. I think I took the removable sanity approach and just yelled until they listened.
Yeah,
Swearing.
I lost my cool.
Well,
if
I'm wrong, BMG, somebody was firing fire bombs at me. It must have been Darren then. It was somebody.
It was me.
Oh, was it you? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I should have been getting VJ then. Sorry about that. Sorry, BMG.
Oh, dear.
But a few shout outs. Welcome to Masuku is in chat. Chiconius is in chat. Daz was on earlier at 1 p.m. Same funny. As always. Who else we got in chat? Xbox iParty Podcast in chat. VJ in chat.
Hello.
And Animated Evil. I think I've got
Hi.
Hello. But I don't. That's the question in Broadman Gamer. Where is Cerebral Port? I don't actually know. He may have forgot we're going live at 4 p.m. He may have done. I don't know. So I'm sure he'll turn up as and when. But yes, if you'd like to like, share, and subscribe, share it out. Let people know we're live. It's an earlier time slot with 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. EST, and we'll move on to the first topic. So. There's a game from Sega called Sonic Origins. Now, it's doing a very, as I say, rock star like mentality kind of business practices, where free DLC packs seem to be required for certain modes. So there's 3 packs here. This is the Start Dash pack. It's 100 coins, bonus coins. Mirror mode is unlocked, and a letterbox background. Mega Drive design, yeah, just for a background. The Premium Fun Pack. Hard missions, 11 in total. Letterbox backgrounds, 10 designs. Come on, look at this. Character animations on the menu. They're locking behind character animations on the main menu. Camera controls over the main menu islands. Character animations during music islands. Right, and you've got the classic music pack. Additional music tracks from Mega Drive and Genesis titles. 73 tracks from Sonic Pinball, Sonic 3D Blast, and Chaotix. I think I've said that right or not. So the standard edition will cost you $39.99. So that's £32.99. Or the digital deluxe, which will cost $44.99 or $36.98. Meaning the extra value of the DLC is around $5. In the Sonic Origins collection, you get Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic CD, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Sonic Knuckles. And I believe Sega actually went ahead and delisted all the original titles on the Xbox store. So you have to rebuy if you don't own this collection now, or these games because they were released individually. You'd have to purchase this Sonic Origins. There's no, because they're taken it off the store. That's what I meant. It's kind of a Rockstar mentality and bundling extras. But I've never heard of companies. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but locking animation, background screens, and loading screens and main menus. I'm a Ghostbuster. Have you got any thoughts on this one?
Oh man, it's very.
Have you ever heard of that? Sorry,
not like that. No, it's a weird one, isn't it? Like I've heard of them like locking odd little pieces behind something. Like you might get like extra costumes, but I've never heard of like menu animations. And
it's really interesting.
Who's going to pay extra for menu animations?
Well, by the sounds of it, from what I heard before the show, you.
No, I will be buying. I'll be buying the base game. Ashamedly to say, I will be buying the base game, but I won't be getting the deluxe edition. There's nothing in it. Like there's no like extra modes, like sort of gameplay modes I would want. There's no extra games. There's no extra characters, costumes, and even if they did put stuff like that behind, the fact that this is a sort of celebration of classic games that are already out there, it's shocking that they would even lock them behind there.
Sorry, but I just want to chuck this one in. I read out the Start Dash pack is free DLC, but this is the but it's only included if you pre-order the game. So if you miss that period, you have to pay for it.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I've just never seen note like it. I don't normally like to slag Sonic off as I love Sonic, but Baldman Gamer hates Sonic.
Oh, it's crazy. I love how the fact they've rebuilt it in that Sonic Mania engine is amazing. It looks fantastic, and the fact that they've put Tails and Knuckles in every game, I'm well up for that. But it's at a weirdly premium price to say you're getting 4 games that were like $5 each on the Xbox store previously, with some slight upgrades. It's a very cash grabby, dirty practice what they've done, and it's so annoying that I'm going to have to buy them, even though I own them all multiple times. I own all of the 360 Xbox Live versions, and I own like all of the like Sonic and Sega collections they've released on the Xbox One. But I'm still going to buy them because I'm an idiot. But I'm not going to buy it. I might get it secondhand, or maybe I'll look for a sale or something. I don't know if I'll get it day one full price because it's just dirty. It's really dirty.
But it is quite expensive for what it is when you think about it. You could get a good indie game for the price of that. Definitely, you could. You know, it's but I imagine you'll end up with all the content because they put a sale on, and you'll pick up the DLC packs maybe in the future.
I don't know. Like, it's very confusing what these DLC packs actually include at the moment. So
That's what it says, but it's not been explained very well.
Yeah, and the fact that they had to have like a chart, like they had to put like this spreadsheet out for people to sort of understand the 700 different versions of this game.
Yeah.
I mean, Sega have been doing weird special editions recently. If you look at, was it Sonic Colors Remastered? They gave you you got a keyring with it if you bought the collector's edition in physical, but it was keyring of the movie character, not anything to do with the game, which was it. Sega just don't care. They just want your money.
Well, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so was glad to get your opinions because I knew it's a topic that you. I think I've heard you talk about it on the Xbox Live Party podcast before. I'm sure you brought it up. You were the one that brought it up. I'm sure. I might be wrong.
Probably, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
So, should we go, thanks for your comments on that. VJ, you got any comments on this one?
Sorry?
VJ, have you got any comments on this topic?
I think I wasn't impressed by what I saw. It seems to be a trend from Sega and Bandai. I can only speak to those two specifically because I don't know if you know when the Lost Judgment came from Sega and Tales of Arise from Namco Bandai, and you saw the sort of initial price points, $59.99, and then subsequently, you've got the sort of special editions or limited editions or the grand edition and so on and so forth, but they were also selling, these $4.99 US dollars. I don't know how much it was in the UK. These $5 packs with sort of special starter perks, for gamers that want that sort of stuff, and obviously costume packs. I think those were like $5 as well. And there's 3 or 4 sets of those, and I kind of find this stuff pretty intolerable. From just from a layman's perspective, right, from the outside, giving it a quick glance. But on the other hand, I understand that these specific games, they obviously cost a lot of money to make. Not Sonic, of course, because for me, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like one of those sort of recycled products. A typically very profitable business strategy that Nintendo sort of annually employ. But again, the aforementioned games do cost a lot of money to make, and they do appeal to a very niche audience. And I can understand why Sega and Bandai, for those sort of higher budget games, are trying to generate more revenues, right, to make those games a little bit more profitable, right? So they keep making them, right? But for Sonic, I as I said, I don't like this kind of sort of business philosophy. So I guess I know Animated and Removable are both going to speak on this, but from my perspective, I'm trying to find out why Sega are doing it, because it just seems to me just another way sort of just penny pinching or nickel and diming, whatever that term is, fans of this game. And I obviously, Sonic trends often on Twitter, right, and other websites, so with the movies coming out and so on and so forth. But I don't know if Sega think, well, the guys that have played it, that are sort of more, that have been around in the earlier generations have already played the game, and they probably may or may not buy it, and perhaps they're targeting a newer audience, a younger audience, sort of 20 to 30 years, younger than us, right? Or me anyway. And those gamers that perhaps haven't played this particular set of Sonic games, and these guys are more used to, paying for additional content, right? That might be behind, what do you call it? Behind a paywall, etc. So you can see that I'm not familiar with the terms, because I kind of switched off from all of this stuff a long time ago, because I just don't pay any. I don't give it any visibility in my mind's eye, and I don't give it any credence, unless it's something really specific. And just on that, like Lost Judgment, I was talking to Removable about this, is that the Kato files were released. Which is a 10-hour or 15-hour expansion pack to Lost Judgment based on another character. And I was about to buy it because I bought Lost Judgment. Then I realized it's like $30 over here, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I just bought Lost Judgment for $30, so there's no way I'm going to pay $30 for the DLC pack. So I'll wait for that.
Wow, that's mental. Goodness.
Yeah, so I'll need to check what price Lost Judgment is now, but I picked it up in the Christmas sales at $30. So yeah, it's look, if I was gonna buy Sonic, I'd want to understand exactly what the improvements are. And I know you explained to some of them to me that they've polished the visuals and the frame rates and so on and so forth. And I'd like to know if what they've put behind a paywall was something that was freely available in the original games, right? Or incarnations between the games, the recent original games, and today. You know, because obviously they've released those games on various other systems and etc. since then. So I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm just not well informed enough to give you a clear-cut answer whether it's good or bad. But on the face of it, I kind of detest this kind of thing. But again, you know, they're not marketing it to me, right? I've played the hell out of Sonic, and you know, when it first came out in the 90s. So it's not something for me. And if the audience today, you know, are happy to pay for additional content because it's just the norm, it just goes to show, you know, what we talked about before in terms of, you know, how Game Pass may or may not evolve, and how Sony may or may not evolve. And we're seeing it with $70 games, and they're still selling. It's just the way the industry is changing. But I mean, I'm kind of being a bit sort of hypocritical here, because I know I've had a chat with Animated Evil before, where back in the 90s, you know, we would pay, you know, I don't know if it was you, Animated. Sorry if it wasn't, but I remember picking up, you know, Street Fighter for the Super Famicom Japanese version, paying 150 quid for it. So just to play it on my SNES with a converter. So yeah. Well, there you go. Anyway, that's my take on it. So.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's I didn't realise them other points you made about the DLC on Lost Judgment being basically the same price as the game. That's really bad.
It's just an example. It's not a slight on Lost Judgment. You know, I'm a big fan of the Judgment series, and I will. And even if, you know, if I finish Lost Judgment and Cato Files are still $30, I don't think I can resist it, because I would want to play it. But then again, I know what I'm getting into because I've seen some reviews on it and so on and so forth. So that's not the issue. So it's just an example, because because it's from Sega, B, because I'm also seeing Bandai Namco do it. So it's kind of becoming a trend in Japanese, among Japanese publishers, where I think initially, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because my views are open for analysis, right? Is that this sort of trend, I'm assuming, started with Western publishers, right? So yeah, you know, especially with Call of Duty and FIFA, etc., etc.
Yes.
But what are you going to do, right? If the mass market are prepared to be nickel and dimed, and they're not complaining against it, then there's not much you can do to sort of stem the flow or stop a trend.
It's a hard one, because like my son, right, I'm trying to get him to play
PG-13.
Yeah, trying to get him to play like games on Game Pass, because he does it via Game Share, and he'd rather play Roblox, and he's been brainwashed into the fact that you buy characters, you don't unlock them and earn them. Kids are being manipulated that way to think that, and I keep saying, no, you should play a different game. You can earn these and unlock them. He's like, no, you have to buy them.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of kids they think that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I think we talked about it on the show before, right? In terms of reprogramming, re-educating, reformatting, and reconditioning gamers, right? Slowly but surely. So, you know, what they sort of scoff at, or feel undermined by, or feel threatened by, or just totally dislike over a period of time, you know, people get used to it and it becomes the norm, you know, until publishers think they can get away with something else, right? Because gamers, you know, well, we've all got busy lives, right? And sometimes we end up having short memories. But if you can stick to a budget, and I guess your kids don't pay for the stuff, right? They just go to daddy and say, daddy, 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 and you're the one who's bearing the brunt, right? Unless they've got access to your wallet. So for them, they don't think twice. They just want it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, some good opinions there, VJ.
Okay.
I'll jump to Animated Evil. Got any thoughts on this? You're muted.
Did I muted? So I do apologise. Yes. Well, I thought I got the button. So unprofessional. Yes, I do apologise. To say I'm a Sonic fan is an understatement. I'm a guy that carries around a Sonic the Hedgehog wallet everywhere I go. So yes, I'm a bit of a Sonic fan. But if you look at the trailers, they've not done a lot of work to these games. And to be fair, the Sonic movies have come out and they've gone quite big, but I'm thinking Sega banking on our rose-tinted glasses and making us try and think that, oh my God, I can have my my beloved Sonic on the Xbox Series XS, whatever. However, they've all been on sale in the past, and I've got every single one of them. So there's nothing going to make me buy this. Nothing at all. I mean, even with the deluxe, digital deluxe, 3 of those options are still only if you pre-order. You realize that, right? So even if you buy the most expensive, you have to pre-order to get everything, which I think it's just terrible. I mean, it'll all come as DLC at some point and stuff, and it'll go on sale and blah, blah, blah. But if you look at the trailers, even on the website, which is called origins.sonicthehedgehog.com, you look at the trailer, they've done next to nothing visually for the gameplay or the games themselves. And it's not even every game. If it was every Sonic game, I could kind of get it. But it's 4 games. What is the 14, 15 of them across the board? For that money, you'd want all of them.
Exactly.
Let's be honest. Who hasn't tried them on an emulator anyway? If you can do it, I haven't because I've got them on the Xbox One. But I every time they went into sale, I snapped them up for £1 here, £1.50 there. So for me, this is no chance, absolute no chance. Even as a Sonic fan, who carries a Sonic wallet? It's not upstairs with me, but still, I can't show you it. But yeah, that's my thoughts really. Nice, short and sweet, and I think VJ put it absolutely fantastic. I think they're just trying to think, do you know what? The franchise is popular again because of the 2 movies that have come out. Let's see.
That's probably what it is.
Let's see what money we can make off the back of them.
Yeah, you are probably right. It's probably a cash in, thinking all these new kids that haven't played Sonic. Here we go. Here's a chance.
See, I think that Stubzone, if you don't mind me saying, I think Sega have banked on the fact that your kids will want the game, and that when they reach for your wallet to pay for the additional content, you'll be fast asleep. That's my professional take on the matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Tough crowd.
I didn't want to go there.
What's your thoughts, Removable, then?
There isn't really much that I could add to the very good comments from the other panelists. Just like Animated, I grew up with Sonic. Sonic was he was either Mario or he was a Sonic fan, and for me, Sonic was my drug of choice. And I'm not angry. I'm just severely disappointed. You know, that is as Animated said, for the price, you'd expect all the games, bit more and stuff, and just to lock animations or anything behind a paywall, it's disgusting. And if I was thinking about buying it, it would probably be on Amazon 6 months down the line when they knock it down to about a tenner. You know, but at this stage, I'm just heavily disappointed in Sega in this instance. It's just trying to cash out on its current fandom with the films, and it's just taking the piss out of its old fans with nostalgia. I don't know what more to say, because to be honest, it's just I'm very, very, very disappointed with Sega.
Yeah, it's disappointing. It is because one thing I noticed is it's not a topic that a lot of shows have actually covered. I mean, Xbox Live Party podcast has, but I don't think many shows have covered it. I don't listen to tons of podcasts, but I've not seen it about much. But just thought it was something to talk about, because it's not really like Sega. Well, I didn't think.
Well, this is it. I can understand it from publishers who are notorious about this. Yeah, you kind of think, well, they're bad for this reason. They're always going to be bad. They don't really give a monkey, so it's kind of expected. But from Sega, I guess I expected better.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
Especially as a traditional company, right? That's been in the industry for
Yeah.
4 or 5 decades, and I guess it goes back to what most of the panel obviously sort of invoke at times like these is that look, if we're not happy with it, or just vote with your wallet.
Yeah, I can only assume that some PR person put some sort of idea into someone's head, and it either didn't get checked or it just went through, because I don't understand their logical. I don't understand the logic for this. I mean, it's going to annoy too many fans.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, they'll have to work out if it pays off. They will. They will. Hello, Paul.
Hey, sorry, lost all track of time. Sorry about that.
So, how are you doing?
Good. For some reason, I thought it was an hour later than it is, but time zones are a bitch,
It's all good. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Doing good. Just been a chill day.
Nice.
I saw the message before I was about to go get something to eat before the show, and then I realized I saw the message saying, "Hey, we already started." Oh crap! Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
I wasn't sure if you thought it was 5 p.m. we were going live. It was 4 p.m. we moved to. So I wasn't sure.
Oh, well, see, that's it. So I was right. It was 5, and you moved it. Yeah, okay.
No. It was 4. We moved from 5 to 4. We did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm still used to it being at 5 instead of 4.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah,
we did it without telling you, Paul.
Yeah,
basically, that's what it was. Yeah, he just did what you want here. Yeah.
So this isn't all my fault. Okay, I feel better now. Yeah, that's good.
Quick, go and order some pizza whilst you're doing it.
We've just been going over the Sonic Origins topic about basically.
Oh, then I can go back off because I really don't care. It's Sonic.
No, that's fair enough. We've just finished it, so I'll move on to a different topic then. So we go with. So this would be a fun little topic. I mean, what makes a great multiplayer game for you, and what's your favourite go-to multiplayer game? I would go with a guess, but as Paul's not been here, I hope you don't mind, Ash. I'm going to go to Paul if that's okay.
Multiplayer games. Yeah, we know how I feel about most multiplayer games, but
absolutely loves them.
Yeah. I gotta say my favorite, only because it's the one I'm somewhat really actually have fun with, is Wreckfest. But
Nice.
because shooters, I don't do shooters. At least I don't do them well. So they're cool and all. And to me they look cool. I wish I was better at them, but I'm not. So I can never sit there and say, oh yeah, I love Call of Duty, or I love Gears, or I love Halo. For their multiplayer aspects, because I don't, and it's nothing against the game. It's just I don't enjoy them. Yeah. So yeah, Forza. So with me, it's got to be the racers, because those are the tends to be the ones that I can hold my own at. Oh, and of course, golf with your enemies. And PGA golf, which I can win pretty handily with most people.
I've heard you're very good at that game. I am.
Yes. So there you go. That's got to be my favorite, because I'm actually truly competitive with that one. So there you go.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Paul. Ash, what's your what do you like in a multiplayer game, and what's your go-to multiplayer game?
It's a difficult one. I like co-op multiplayer games over sort of PvP, sort of arena games or shooters and stuff like that. I'd much prefer nowadays. I mean, 5 years, 6 years ago, it was just Call of Duty, 2 and World at War and stuff. But nowadays, I love playing story-driven co-op. I was never massive into Halo, but I do quite like the Halo campaign because of its multiplayer. But to me, the perfect multiplayer game has to have online and split screen. If you don't have couch co-op, you're not a proper multiplayer game, in my opinion.
Oh, not many games do that anymore.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, even Halo, the last Halo, got rid of the couch co-op, and it was just online only. If I'm correct. And
on the flip side of that, there's games like like what was it that has couch co-op only and really needed an online thing with the one
Oh,
with
yeah,
the,
totally.
the frogs.
Battletoads.
Battletoads.
Yeah,
Battletoads
I 100%
definitely needed
agree.
an online aspect. Yeah.
But they should have them both. I feel like
Yeah.
I do like the couch co-op because, like I say, I can play with my kids. I mean, we quite like playing that. Is it Moving Out? The one where you like the removal men.
Yeah, yes,
that is so much
good for
fun.
kids.
But yeah, I prefer to play couch co-op. But obviously, the majority of the people I know that game aren't nearby, and obviously with COVID and stuff previously, so online has been great. But yeah, it's got to be sort of local and sort of co-op campaign. Like Gears is always a fun game to play co-op. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like
why
that.
did you have to say that in front of me? Don't get me.
I'm literally was bringing this up the other day. I miss LAN gaming. I used to own like a LAN gaming center, and there's nothing I miss more than having us all playing all evening on like 8 different screens, 4v4, or 4 people playing one game, campaign 4 playing another. I miss those times. The day of the LAN has long gone and passed, and it's such a shame.
It's only a pro like MLG events now landed.
They're not the same. It's not like a bunch of nerds in a room playing all sorts of stuff. We used to play anything we could find. Like we'd stick Steam on and it'd be whatever took our fancy, and it was great. Yeah. But nowadays it's just I don't know. I don't think multiplayer is as good as it used to be, and that's in my opinion. It's probably going to ruffle people's feathers, but
I don't know if you all had the LAN party buses that would do you could for your birthday party you could hire a bus basically that had LAN set up inside the bus, so all your friends could go in and play against each other.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them in the UK. They're really fun.
I've never heard of them. I didn't know.
It's just like imagine like a double-decker bus or a single-decker like coach, and then inside it's just screens all over the walls, and you just sit and play. And it's like a nightclub inside. It's all dark with all the like neon lights. Fantastic.
Yep. Okay. And the nice thing about those is they were local. They were your friends, or like in the club, in the thing you had. You knew that. I'm sure you knew a lot of the people that came in regularly to play.
Yeah, so you'd have like a majority was like there was a core group that would be in multiple times a week, and you'd get the odd couple of people coming and eventually sort of come in more often. But it was such a community that I think it's been lost. I mean, like board games and stuff sort of took a big, massive uptake, didn't they, a couple of years ago? And they sort of replaced that sort of feeling, I think. But I still pine for it. One day I'm going to have to like get a load of friends together and get a load of cables and do it again.
Yep.
So
I know a lot of comic and novelty shops do the board game or Magic the Gathering nights and stuff, and they have tables upon tables, and they have people who come in and do that stuff. You know, because it's that sense of community. Yeah, much like we had with the arcades. Yeah, much like we had with the arcades. You know,
I miss that. Oh, gotta love them.
So basically. Yeah, so your favorite games are more like the co-op based games.
Yeah, co-op campaign games over sort of competitive. I prefer I quite like Sea of Thieves when we're doing like the non getting griefed by arseholes online mode. When we're playing for fun and we're doing the actual story missions, Sea of Thieves is fantastic. When you're doing the like arena competitive stuff, it's not. I just don't have that urge, and I don't want to play a game that much that I have to be that good at it to just enjoy it nowadays. Like I quite like battle royales as well, because if you have to play competitive battle royales, you don't have to have a huge amount of skill to actually do quite well in it. So I think they're quite good in some aspects as well.
Oh, that's fair enough. That is. I mean, we all change what we like over the years, don't we? It's like years ago, I used to like just playing like a bit like you, like Call of Duty Online and Gears. Gears was a lot more toxic back then, back in the day. It was. I used to be scared to play Gears on the truly. It was that bad. Do you know what I mean?
Online, I used to stop playing because it was so toxic. It literally, I used to play campaign, and then
I got into a match with the developers of Epic, right? And I was playing against these guys. They must have been professionals, and I just quit the game after, because the way the way these pros were talking, because I was bad. I was like, do you know what I mean? I was just trying to play a game because the developers were in the game, and God, they were. You know what I mean? You had to be like some kind of professional. You know what I mean?
Oh, tell me about it. I 100% know what you're on about there.
But yes. So just a few shout outs in chat. Moan Dog Gaming, welcome. I think I've seen Safu as well. Welcome. Thanks for popping in. I think that's it. But yeah, thanks everyone. Please hit the subscribe button and like and share the show out. So yes, thanks Ash for them opinions on the topic. Some good ones there. Removable Sanity. What's your favourite? What do you see? What do you like in a multiplayer game? And what's your go-to multiplayer game if you have, or you prefer? I don't know. You're an indie man, really. You are.
I know I'm a little bit of an indie man, but I was a heavy duty Call of Duty fan back in the day, a bit like a lot of people. But even prior to that, I was also a modern. Yes, I was. Yes, I was also a Modern Warfare fan back in the LAN the LAN days, sort of thing. But to say the one multiplayer that I would say I probably put the most time into, and I probably still, if there is enough time to play it, I go back to, and this will probably be good for VJ, is actually the Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. For me, it hit every single good element. It was engaging, it was fun, there was always something fresh. In terms of development, they always brought something new every week. There was interesting challenges to keep you going. There's always something to strive for, and actually, unlock, not always purchase, but actually unlock. It just kept providing throughout its life cycle, and even today, it's something I still try and get back into and play. It was great with a good 4 people, and it was like a fantastic multiplayer. For me, that was the pinnacle one of it. To make a good multiplayer, I think it has to be engaging, and it has to continue to be engaging beyond the developers' initial upkeep of it. If it can keep you interested when they're not doing anything, that will tide it over and keep it in your mind time on time. At least that is me.
Well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
To keep your community engaged and not bored and not drifting over to other games. It's very difficult. It is. Yeah,
I think, and that's why for me it was the Mass Effect team managed just to do it perfectly, because it was simple little things like challenges at the time. It's like kill 50 enemies with this particular gun. You got a weapon skin, you got a banner, you got an emote, you got something. It is always something that was really good that you could strive for. You got an upgrade. It was fantastic back then.
Just a thing. I bet you. I know we've talked about this in great length, but you wished it was in the massive.
Yes, the Legendary Edition. The Legendary Edition. Yeah.
It's a shame that wasn't included.
I think, to be honest with you, I think if it was included, it feels for me for the new players that have come into Mass Effect, because Mass Effect is such a fantastic series. It's just a beautiful chunk of enjoyment that they're not going to be able to play, unless they've got the original Mass Effect 3 disc. And it's a shame, because it truly, for me at that time, I think it hit so many amazing boxes. It hit so many different things perfectly, and it expanded upon the single player game in terms of not only lore but characters, because throughout this Mass Effect game you would play as Shepard, and then you'd have your AI companions which you could move around, but in the multiplayer you got to play as other races that you'd never been able to do. So it really ramped up and evolved the actual single player game to a new level. I think that's probably what hit home for me. It was just like, wow, all these characters, all these races I've always wanted to play, I can now play as them, and they've each got their own unique special abilities, etc., which we can utilize. And that's why I said it was engaging beyond its years. Even now, I can still play it and absolutely have a fantastic time.
Do you play it regular or every so often?
It's one of those things I dive back into it every couple of about 3 or 4 months, sort of thing. I haven't been on for about a year now, but I probably will go back to it. To be honest with you, strangely enough, I think there's still people playing it on the servers. That shows how it's. Yeah, I think there's still people playing it. I'm just surprised because I think people like myself, if it was out there for them to play with the the refreshed, the upgrades, the new, the better control systems, the better graphics, better frame rates, I think it would be a sleeper hit. It'd be like, wow, people are like, yeah, this is a really good multiplayer game. But then again, I'm biased, so I have to be aware of that.
It's a good pick. It is. Not that I've played it, but it sounds a good pick. It does. But yeah, thanks, Removable.
No worries.
So, animated. What makes a great multiplayer for you, and what would be your favourite pick if you had a go-to multiplayer game?
C. Hang on. Let's double check. Yeah, I'm not.
You've got your script up. I'm joking.
No. So I was never ever a multiplayer guy back in the day. So I never experienced the LAN parties that Ash mentioned. I never did it. Pretty much a solo gamer until back in the day when clans became a thing. You all remember them, right?
Yes.
So I did join a couple. One was quite serious. Probably the best. Two of them. One was serious, one was for fun, okay? And probably the best 2 games I've ever experienced on multiplayer, just because I'm looking through them through rose-tinted glasses. So the serious one, where it was so serious, I was playing with actual soldiers and stuff, and we were calling each other by code names and things like that, was Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. Yeah, so that was just amazing. Doing those challenges for an hour and a half long, trying to do the terrorist hunt with hundreds of enemies and stuff was so difficult because you had to, it was unrealistic. So one shot, you were killed. That was very fun, but that was so serious. I had a code name and everything over the microphone. But we're talking back on 360.
Spiky McBeard.
And no, it was that was Bravo Dog. Unfortunately, we all had obviously alphabetized proper names. So there was the Alpha Leader 1 and all that kind of thing. That was so good because you got so involved, and because it was so serious. And then I ended up with another group who just did stuff for fun, and then we ended up playing Rainbow Six Siege for forever. Not Rainbow Six Siege, sorry. Rainbow Six Las Vegas. Sorry, not Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, that was good. Early. That was a very good one.
By the way, as an American, let me just say, as an American, it always sounds weird when somebody says, "Yeah, back in the day, I joined the Klan." What? Wait a second.
No, not that Klan. CLAN, not KLAN.
Well, we've just lost a whole load of people.
We'd meet up and not burn a
my brain can't be the only one that hears that sometimes, though.
Wow. But there was all these clan things going on, wasn't there? And these days, I suppose I'm so serious to the week anyway. On a weekend, I just want to be a complete dick. So any game, I can be a complete bloody retard in, which is mostly every community game night. I'm going to be honest. It's on a Saturday night. It's when I can just
he only does it on the weekends, people. He only does it on the weekends.
I'm not so much a complete idiot during the week and stuff. So if I'm streaming and stuff, I try and keep a little bit of modicum going on.
Do you want to tell him Removable, or should I? I mean, I'm just.
I'm a bit of an idiot, but I don't throw as many insults on
that's true, yeah.
as I do on a weekend.
He moderates himself to really let go at the weekend. Is that what you're saying?
Now Al's sitting there going, God, he had to show up tonight, didn't he? It was fine till he showed up. Now he's here. It shows God to hell. Yeah.
I think that every week, Paul, is fine. No, but so do you know what? Other than those two, do you know what? Any game that I can play with a group of friends where I can be myself and just cut loose and stuff like that, you can't do that in Call of Duty in a public chat because you
No,
get
you
all
can't.
sorts of shit going on. But anything that, and that's why I love community game night so much, just because anything goes, and it really does sometimes, as you've all experienced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Cerebral Paul, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking in reference animated to someone who should beta test Halo or something. He said, just let Mr. Tushi and crew let loose on it, and they really test the service.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like their maps where they all let rockets off and
Mm.
all sorts.
constant rockets with auto reload. Yes, on
Yeah.
plus 20 speed. Absolutely, let's go.
And heavy gravity, so the only way you can walk is backwards. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, no, some good points there, animated. Yeah, it's that basically any game you can have fun in, multiplayer wise, and it's Fortnite Saturday. I believe I was looking. It's just Saturday this week for community game night.
Well, it's Saturdays now for a while, just because we've devoted every Friday and Saturday for quite a while. Mr. Tushy longer than I have, of course, because it's his baby. But when you're devoting every Friday and Saturday, it starts to become more like a job than a fun hangout. So we've decided Fridays for now. We'll stick a pin in, and then we'll just do Saturdays. And Fortnite was my idea, would you believe?
Oh, okay. And it won. Or was it a voting thing?
No, it wasn't a voting. I just said, let's play Fortnite next weekend. That was it. It was it.
Oh, okay.
Executive decision.
Yes.
With community game night, you've got sort of a set few games that you always play and things like that. Fortnite's one of those, and they've got the no build mode, so it's just going to be a third person shooter. Fuck about. That's all it's going to be. So we're going to do no build mode, I presume.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to just shoot at each other. That's simple as that. And what more do you want from a friendly gathering? Just idiots shooting
Pizza.
at you. That's
Exactly.
With pineapple.
Exactly. Oh,
Don't start Cerebral off.
No, let's not. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So DJ,
Yep.
what makes a great multiplayer for you? And have you got a go-to multiplayer game you like to play?
Look, I don't play that many. I mean, I'm uncertain what category, say, something like Sea of Thieves falls into. It feels more like a 4-player co-op game, whereas like on the community game nights, games like Wreckfest and Halo and is it Rainbow Six? I think
Yeah.
they play a lot, and there's one other, I forget it, from Respawn.
There's loads of them.
And those are like true mass multiplayer. And look, I can only relay my sort of limited observation in terms of, you know, and it may not obviously be aligned with, you know, popular opinion, belief, or point of view, but other than that, for me, Sea of Thieves, you know, because obviously I played that most recently, and it's like it's just like other than being a sort of perfect seafaring brew of sort of fun game with friends and that sort of, as Animate was saying, in turn helps facilitate or conspires to bring about like a faultless and fun experience, right? For what may seem like 10, 15, 20, 30 or minutes or an hour, and then before you know it, it's dinner time, right? And that's obviously, I'm going to caveat all of that as long as, you know, Stubsan is awake during the actual experience.
Yeah. I was there for the in fact, I was there for the whole time.
Well, I'm not sure.
You were present.
I think Darren did hear someone snoring down deck below deck, sorry. So yeah, I'm not sure if that was you or perhaps an uninvited guest. Anyway, but Sea of Thieves, I mean, would I be right saying it's a fan favorite amongst Xbox gamers?
Yes, it is. It is.
So, and again, I think the other one recently I played with Removable and with Masuko, a special mention for Back 4 Blood. And again, it's I bring that up as an example because it's not a great game in terms of how it's balanced and so on and so forth. But I'm speaking from us. I don't mean to speak for Removable, but and Masuko, who's not here. But I think I'm assuming that a great time was had by all, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. a lot of swear was had by Paul.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not sort of disproportionately or over representing, you know, another person's opinion, right, and sentiment. So that's why I'm trying to get Removable to butt in as much as possible. But obviously he's eating pizza with pineapple, so it might be a bit difficult. So, and then there's the other game. More recently is Mass Effect, right? Well, actually, 2 recent games. Mass Effect. I didn't play the multiplayer because obviously it doesn't have a multiplayer component. But I just finished Mass Effect 3 last week, so I'm done with the whole franchise now, yet again. And then you've got the biggest example that I spent like 250 hours playing. Not sure if all those hours were spent playing or dying, but anyway, the point being, Elden Ring is a small regret in the sense that I haven't managed to sort of experience its multiplayer, or as I would call it, sort of either, you know, quad, quorum, you know, foursome, or quartet co-op, right, rather than multiplayer. So I don't know if I'm just being pedantic in trying to sort of dice up between single, you know, quartet co-op and multiplayer, but that's how I see it. But at the end of the day, I think if you're having a good time and if you're having a fun experience with the people you're actually playing, and of course I include you in that, Stubbs. So yeah, I won't have it any other way. Honest.
When he's awake.
Yeah. When he's awake. And, yeah, I'm not snoring below deck. When the ship's on fire or flooding. Surprised what the black guy can sleep through, honestly. And someone mentioned Executive Decision, and I thought that was a great movie, to be quite honest with you, with Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal, but each to his own. But yeah, look, that's just my that's just my layman's take on it. So take it any which way you want.
Some good
Just
opinions
not that
over you,
experience.
Jay. But Sea of Thieves, I know I mentioned Gears, but I believe that Sea of Thieves is a much better multiplayer experience, and it's much more fun and enjoyable.
Hold on, can we clip that and post that on your timeline?
Yeah, you can do it if you want. Yes,
I think the thing goes back to with Sea of Thieves. I don't know if you've ever played with anybody random before. I have, and luckily I got an absolutely amazing experience when I slooped it up with somebody. And do you know what? The guy that come in was absolutely fantastic. I've had one great experience, but I don't think I could trust random people on something like Sea of Thieves or Back 4 Blood or things like that. Even Back 4 Blood and what was the other one, the Ascent we played together? Removable, remember that? And I broke it.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Even that, it's a fact. Any game that you can have some of the best people you know to join in with you, and you just cut loose and have fun is just the core of my multiplayer experience. And I think that's what VJ was sort of intonating at. So I have to agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's the people you play with that make it the most fun. It's not a game you can play with. Sea of Thieves, there's a lot of people that try and play it solo and say it's crap, but then when you play it with the right people and the right friends, it's a lot of fun. Even if you're not very good at it, it still is. It's just the laughs you can have. It is a good game. It is. But yes, that was a good little topic. Thanks for tuning in everyone. If you'd like to drop a like, it would really help, and share it out. And also, welcome to our friendly pest. I can see you. Thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it. So the next topic is, as far as I know, this generation, Series X, Series S, PS5, Xbox has had an official limited edition console, a Halo-themed console. And all it was is it's not. This isn't a big topic. I just wondered if, because PlayStation haven't actually. If anyone can correct me, I might be wrong. They haven't actually done an official PlayStation 5 branded console, as in, I don't mean a colored console. I just mean like, say, God of War or any kind of console exclusive special edition.
Yeah, no official themed fins or anything. No.
Yeah, but they have released these special plates you can buy. My question is, does anyone think they're going to bring a PlayStation 5 out theme one? Because my view is, I'll take my take. They will bring one out for God of War Ragnarok. They will. I think that's what.
Well, I have a question. Have they ever done have they done a themed console before? I'm trying to remember one. Seriously.
Yes.
And
PlayStation 4, there's been loads.
Yeah,
There's been loads of
PS4 had
consoles.
loads.
Yeah,
Okay.
tons of them.
Okay, so they did a lot with okay, because I know Xbox is known for doing that kind of stuff, but PlayStation, but PS4 had loads of very special limited edition consoles, I guess.
Yeah. They did. I'll bring Ash in. He can probably name some of them for you if you want.
There was quite a few, yeah. They did a God of War one, which was ugly because it had this like.
Oh, and somebody said
room.
they had a Spider-Man as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a Spider-Man one.
Okay,
God of War.
and trust me, I wasn't trying to be a smartass. I honestly didn't
Oh
remember
no,
because I
they
don't
were.
know.
No,
Yeah.
Do you remember that hot pink PS2 you could get back in the day? You could get
I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
dirty voluminous pink. I think one of my exes had one, and I always was like, "That is grotesque." But I must admit, though, the PlayStation Special Editions have never been quite as nice as the Xbox ones. Like they did that, the Death Stranding one. I didn't rate much. The one I really wanted was the Dragon Quest one with had like a slime USB cover. But I think it was like Japan only, and it cost so much to import. I had to just look at it online and pretend I was going to get it. Good times.
I think the last time I got into personalized anything was on the 360 when you get the personalized faceplates.
Oh, I love them. You get the Dead Rising ones. They should bring stuff like that back. What they should do. The Series X is a square. Just give us like a plastic sleeve that goes over the
sleeve,
top.
yeah.
Kind of like
you can buy aftermarket ones like that because there is a Poor Part designed.
he beat me to
Cyberpunk.
it, you bugger.
So I do apologise. I'm sorry, Stubbs.
You're all right. Carry on.
But there is, if you go to certain websites, Treason's one of them. You can buy a sleeve for it's a sticker kit for your Series X, and it goes over the controller as well.
I don't like sticker kits though. I hate.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't do
like
sticker kits to save my life.
I know, I know, Mr. Tushy owns the Cyberpunk one, and it does look amazing. And let's be fair, it was designed by Poor Part, so let's be honest, it's always going to look good.
I saw an old Windows PC skin for the Series X, and it looked amazing, like the big old fat chunky tower. I was like,
yeah,
if that wasn't a sticker, and it was like a plastic box sleeve, printed plastic square. So like you got on the old collector's editions, and you used to slide it off, and it would stay in the square sort of shape. And I can just slide it over. It's got a hole where the power button is, and the disc and everything. I would buy one straight away, definitely. So. They're just always stickers, and I hate stickers.
You see, the PlayStation 5 has got an awesome opportunity to make it's easier for themselves because it's just custom plates, isn't it? They don't have to design a custom console. They just have to release official custom plates.
They could do that. You're right,
and they would sell like hotcakes. Just make a controller to match. They would fly off the shelves once they're available. They really are. Exactly. I mean, I think there's something. I think that's why they've probably designed the plates to come off with something like that in mind. Maybe not so much, but personal designs, but personalize your own PS5 kind of thing.
Well, I would think if they designed it with that in mind, they'd already be doing it because it's been almost 2 years now. So
they have released red ones, haven't they? I think they've released red and black now.
Yeah.
They colors.
Remember the secondary company did it first, and PlayStation went no.
Yeah, but the problem is there's still issues with units off the production line, isn't there, for both consoles, for the both big ones. I mean,
they're now reporting
Xbox Series S doesn't count, but Xbox Series X and I know we're getting a few more coming out in the wild now, and PS5 as well. Maybe they are waiting to drop that big game that's going to be a system seller to say, look, buy this custom and get the game for free. God of War,
I would say it would be God of War Ragnarok if they're waiting.
Yeah.
That's what it would be.
Yeah.
The one game, that game, no matter what, and if you love it or hate it, God of War is the system seller for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
It is. My dad even plays it. He's played it 4, 5, 6 times. He loves it. God of War on the PS4. He does. But yeah, for shortages, you mentioned it. They're now saying that shortages could last anywhere up to the end of 2024. They are now saying that. They are. But there's nothing you can do about it. But
I think the problem is that because it's all the same chipsets these days, isn't it? It's all very sorry, not the same, but very similar chipsets. I don't want to be quoted and say all the chips are the same. They're not. However, these companies still that make the chips, AMD and whatnot, they still have to make their future chips.
Well, and remember, these chips aren't just for consoles; they're for cars, they're for all kinds of electronics.
Absolutely. What I was about to say was that they still need to make their future chips. So they've already released this tech, right? Okay, now they need to work on the new tech. So not only are they making the 3090s, the Xbox chips, the PlayStation chips, the chips for your Toyota Corolla, they're also looking at the 4030s, 4050s, that kind of chips as well. So these companies still have to try and make all these things. And the shortages, unfortunately, in my opinion, are behind where we are with the development of them.
Yeah, it not only did it affect distribution, it affected R&D, research and development as well.
Absolutely.
Definitely will.
It's that knock-on effect, isn't it? Because we still need the current gen chips. But the companies out there saying, whoa, hang on a minute, I need you to make the new ones because the new ones are coming. So there's that big fight between the companies of whose chips you're going to make, because there's a shortage, there's a global shortage on all chips, no matter the power, no matter the strength. So it's all going to reflect, and like Paul said, if it's going to be 2024, we are where we are. There's nothing we can do about it as mere podcasters / content creators / whatever. Nothing we can do about it.
Well, there's nothing anybody can do about it till they can get their hands on the resources they need. So it's like that's all it is. It's like I know Ford car, the car company, they actually have they released what they call half-finished cars, where it doesn't have all the bells and whistles it used to because they're using only half the chips, so they can get some cars out there, because all the car manufacturers are having trouble getting cars to the people who bought them right now. There's a waiting list for a lot of common cars because the chips aren't there, and they need the chips for the functionality of the power seats and all the crap in the car.
And don't forget, the higher end the car, the bigger the more chip power they need and stuff, and so it's a knock-on effect.
It is. It's crazy. And VJ, I'd like to get are you there, sir?
Yep, I'm here.
What's your take on? Do you think, because obviously you're probably a different perspective on this, do you think PlayStation are going to bring out an official branded, say, God of War Ragnarok or any kind of official console, or do you think it's going to be like official faceplates that's been suggested this generation?
So I was actually chatting to RemovableSanity about this, just from a hypothetical and non-volitional sort of point of view. We surmise that it might be relevant to us by the time we pick a PS5, which, well, subject to ability, and that might be quite a ways off, and by that time there might be a pro version, and if not a pro version, perhaps a pro slim, or how did you coin it, RemovableSanity? Was it Slim Pro or something or other? So we were just
Slim Pro.
Yeah, we were just I'm not sure if we invested in plates today that they might be compatible with systems from PlayStation in the future. Anyway, I'm just joking with you. So look, I think if you're just looking at it holistically, I do like the idea of customizable plates. And I remember all the way back to the black and white Game Boy, right? When you had the sort of initial sort of plain set color, and then you had the multiple sort of transparent colored covers for the Game Boy. So it's not a new concept. I guess it's just in terms of how a platform holder wants to employ the potentiality of what they've got, well, it's all come about by design, right? It's not just sort of fallen in their laps. So again, whether they're plain colors, and I guess already suggested that the colored ones are out, and whether they're colored or themed or thematic themes or whatever you want to call it, I think ultimately it just brings about choice for your fellow gamer, especially those that have got a slightly more, shall we say, ostentatious, or even, well, if you want to go that far, tawdry disposition, right? So I guess, as Animated was saying, is that I sense the priority for Sony has got to be shipping hardware, and even though I feel that's going to be tough for a period of time. I mean, we don't know, right? We assume it's all going to be tough, right? But these corporations, they love to take the narrative and figure out what's the best way to milk a situation, even if they do have products. So, and I'm accustomed to that with Sony for over decades in terms of how they operate. So the only issue that I do have just on the colored plates is that for me personally, again, it's just me and my circumstances in terms of how much I want to invest in gaming. They're overpriced, especially the colored plates are what? I think they're $55 plus tax or something. And it's not to my liking or budget. But again, I've spoken to a few distributors here and there, and they say they're selling absolutely fine. And I think for Sony at least, the markup on this type of accessory, the shipping is going to be next to nothing, especially if it's coming in by sea and the way they're packaged, and they're probably repacked once they get here. Will be quite phenomenal. I think the markup will be, and for Sony, I guess some of their big hitters are yet to sort of come out, right? I actually thought there might be theme plates for GT, but I don't think you're far off in the sense that it's definitely been up on the drawing board, right, at the Sony offices or the marketing or PR division, where there's been suggestions in terms of, hey, look, should we bring out either a themed console for God of War and Spider-Man, but then that always, for me, the theme stuff, that's all great, but it always seems to me that I kind of either miss out on the ones that I want, or I didn't hear that they'd come out, and then there's never enough product because as I've just mentioned previously, in terms of how they operate, in terms of availability. So perhaps if you want a God of War themed console or a Spider-Man console, you do miss out that those are subsequent released post-launch, or the plates are available separately. Look, I don't know. Sony will do what makes sense in terms of how they profit from it, rather than making everything available for everybody, which is far more inclusive, rather than sort of division, but creating division. But as you know, right, division, tribalism, nationalism. Well, nationalism is the new tribalism. So, and that leveraging those types of that type of sort of, well, say political, they are political positions at the end of the day. Correct me if I'm wrong, Removable. So I'm half asleep. So Stubbs is wearing me down, especially with no pineapple on this pizza. Anyway, the point being,
Jesus, every time.
That's what you get, Paul, for avoiding me when I want to play golf with you. Anyway, the point. I'm just kidding.
Let me just say real quick. I think Sony is missing out on a chance to make a killing with themed panels. By the way, they really are. Yeah. Even though there aren't as many consoles as they'd like out there, there are still thousands upon thousands of consoles. Yeah, Paul, and people would buy these panels.
Yeah. Paul. I think when I spoke to a couple of distributors, as I mentioned, is that they're saying that the colored ones are selling really well, like so well that they don't always have them in stock. So I guess, if you're Sony and you're and you can't make enough to fulfill demand, because I don't know I don't know what they planned initially to sell, what they thought they would sell, and then if they haven't sort of prepped their production lines or molding tools, you know what I mean, right? In terms of being able to supply, and they're selling out these, I think they're going to milk these colored ones as
much as they can.
Yeah,
and then turn around later and have these themed ones, and the same people who bought the red ones are going to turn around and buy the Spider-Man one, or
because for those guys, $55 plus tax is whatever disposable income, right? And that's the target audience that they're going for, especially when they're charging that same audience $70 for games. And nothing wrong with $70 games. I don't have an issue with it, but that's their target audience, with $70, $55, $70 for a controller, $50 for whatever the rechargeable stand. It's disposable income for those guys, right?
They could be very well looking for the double or triple dip on these guys.
Absolutely, yeah. Now you're with me, and that's why I think that at some point that they may release some Horizon Forbidden West or a GT7, plates, and say, look, here you go, buy these. But as Paul was saying, I think God of War and Paul, you've got to think, right, for Spider-Man 3 and perhaps even Wolverine, right? And imagine the claws.
Wolverine would sell like hotcakes, man. Wolverine would be so hot.
Imagine the claws. Imagine the claws like sticking out just a little bit at the top of the plate, right? And so I just think, as you were saying, Paul, they're going to milk the coloured ones, and then the themed ones. There'll be even Kratos' axe right on one side and Atreus on the other. I mean,
Yep. And I can guarantee you the themed ones for licensing purposes will cost you more because they still have to pay for
Absolutely, Paul. And I think that's a point you just hit on there, Paul. And I don't know if that's what you meant, but third-party licensing in terms of what they do, because obviously Sony's consumer licensing division has grown. So where they license out Kratos for statues and maquettes, action figures. So that division as well might be tasked with, hey, look, what, we're busy, we can only produce so much, and etc. etc. So license these out in terms of if you can get this minimum guarantee from some idiot out there, right? And I'm sure there will be plenty of companies out there that would want to make plates officially licensed based on Sony licenses, etc., and so on and so forth. How that works in tandem with, say, Sony working on Spider-Man, which is a Marvel license, and they have their own consumer division. I guess those may end up just being plates available from first party in terms of Sony, right? So it's a bit difficult and convoluted, but you kind of know what I'm getting at.
Yep.
I'll just shut up now because of my pineapples. My pineapple's dry now. My pizza.
Gonna make me come to where is it? California, Arizona. I'll check both states for you. I know you're in one of those too. I'll hunt you.
That would be a good party, wouldn't it? Really?
Promise not to decimate me at golf, Paul, when we do play.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
Then I'll eliminate. I'll promise to eliminate.
I'll do the back nine. I'll do the back nine like blindfolded or something. Yeah.
Okay, great. You're on, Paul. You're on.
Yeah, there's been some very good views and ideas on what could happen to.
So gracious of you to say so, Stubbs.
No, there really is, because the PlayStation 5 theme consoles and the plates are even better idea. It's been some. I can't. Have I asked you, Ash? On this.
Pretty much, yeah.
My memory's gone.
I think they should just do the custom, like everyone else. I think they should do the custom
plates.
The plates, yeah. It's just easy money, and they don't have to create like special fancy consoles. They just have to stick some pictures on the side and bring them out with certain games, like the big games, basically. So.
I don't know. I would definitely, if I was going to buy a Wolverine face plates, I wouldn't want stickers. I would actually want Wolverine's claws sticking out at the top of just
molded plates. Yeah, molded plates. Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, just employ Pope Art to make them. He'd be good at that. He would be. Welcome to Wilmy Hood. Thanks for popping in.
Yep. And sure, quick advertisement. If you want to hear me later, I will be on Gaming Beyond the Box later tonight. It's double feature time. That's right, double feature night.
8 p.m. EST, isn't it, Paul? I'm sure it's on.
Yes, it is.
That'll be good. That will be. And welcome to Muppet, who just popped into the chat. And yes, no one's actually noticed, and I didn't notice till Animated mentioned it. No, basically, he said, "Where's my headphones?" He's got earbuds in. He's like me. I got Samsung Galaxy Live buds in. He's got different ones in.
Ooh, like a shame.
Mine are actually wired. These are the
I've not got wired.
These are the Surface USB C headphones,
Ooh.
which are absolutely fantastic. And because I've got a big beard, you can't see them. Well, they are wired.
It also helps in the summer when it's really hot as well. Without having to put big headphones on. It really does.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Removable, but have you got any points on this topic? We've pretty much been covered. Unless you've got any different points.
Not really. I think, again, it's pretty much been covered by the majority of the panelists. It's... yeah, what else can you say, really? They've got every single point nailed on their head. Other than, I agree.
Fair enough. The next topic is... So basically, you don't have to say every prediction because we won't get through it in 40 minutes, though.
Gear 6.
Xbox and Bethesda showcase hopes. You don't have to mention everything, just like what you really think you
Go on,
want to see.
Removable.
Ghostbuster,
Yeah.
do you want to go first?
Yeah, can do. Yeah, I just want to see some Fable. That would make me happy. Like even if it's just a CG.
Are you there? You've cut out.
He faded. He's still talking, but we can't hear him. He broke.
Playground games are not allowing anyone to talk about Fable.
Yeah,
See what
that's it.
see-
They've hacked his
He
connection.
has been
They
eliminated.
have.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there.
You're gonna get DMCA'd because you mentioned Fable. See, there you go.
Let removable have a chat.
We got a cyber attack there.
Oh, he's gone. He left.
What's going on there?
No idea.
Have you kicked him out?
So you mentioned Fable. No, I didn't know. See,
That's
you mentioned Fable. That was your problem. You see, the
Yes.
Microsoft ninjas came for you.
That's
The
it,
YouTube
yeah.
gods have struck it down.
That's the main thing I want to see. But if I had to go like offbeat and just pick like one random thing, I'd love to see a Dead Rising, another Dead Rising game. I know it's never coming. I think the last one, even though I enjoyed it, a lot of people weren't bothered. But I would like to see that. I'd love it. I'd love another one.
No, that's good.
Well, Capcom has said they're expected to release some bangers the next year, so
If that's
We'll
it,
see
I
what
need,
happens.
I need some of those bangers.
Bangers. Mr. Badbit's favourite word. Bangers.
yeah, bangers, yeah.
You got anything else, Ash? You can mention more if you want.
Do you know what? Most of the stuff they've announced, I've already, I'm already excited for. I'm trying not to look into it too much because I want to be a bit surprised this year. Because the last time, I don't think there was a lot of huge surprises. So I'm hoping for something cool in that aspect. But I don't know. It's a tough one. Like I say, I'd love to see some acquisitions. I don't think there will be, but stuff like that is always really interesting, especially in a showcase. So, but I just want games, more Game Pass games, more cool games. I'd like to see more sort of Japanese sort of styled games that we don't normally get on the Xbox. I mean, I'm not a big Persona fan, but stuff like that, yeah, just give us more. That's all I want. Lots and lots of content.
You can jump in, Paul. I know you're chomping.
Okay, I was gonna say, outside of like, I would love to see some extended play of Starfield, and I expect to, given that we're 6 months out at that point.
Can I ask you a question? Because you're a bit of a Bethesda fan, aren't you?
Right.
So, obviously, previously they weren't, when they released the game, they weren't obviously owned by Microsoft. Now, do you think because they haven't got that stress of going to sell mode because they're on all platforms, do you think that they probably will give you a reveal, but it will be like a tiny tease and then do it later in the year?
No, I think they're gonna do I think this is gonna be their big reveal. Actually, I think because all the reports have said, even from Phil, that it is ready to go. It's just it's in polish mode. That it is a playable game right now. That I think is so. And this summer, starting this summer, I know they're supposed to be heading into the final beta and stuff, and some of that should be opening up to, you know, the closed betas and the public betas and stuff as we get closer. So I think hopefully we're gonna see a lot more of it. Hopefully they've learned from their mistakes with some previous releases where they really didn't do the due diligence they needed to on some bugs and stuff, but that was mostly their multiplayer stuff. Every time they've launched a multiplayer game, it's been like, okay, this is painful. I'm going to wait for 6 months until they get this crap figured out. I've never had that problem with any of their single player offerings. That's why I'm hyped for it. Everybody goes, why are you hyped for it? Because then they mention like Fallout 76 or ESO. Because because those are multiplayer games, and so they don't have as good a pedigree on multiplayer as they do on single player. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. A lot of the other stuff I'm looking forward to, I don't think I'll see at the Bethesda Microsoft showcase. I want to, because it's their third party offerings, like the Star Trek game that's coming out at the end of the year. Of course, we have Harry Potter coming out. See, all these things are a lot of stuff we're going to see at Keeley's show more than at the Microsoft show, probably.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to hold. They will. I know people won't like this comment, but they will give something to Keeley that hasn't been. They'll give some. They'll give him something to reveal. They will.
Yeah, they always do. They always do, and it's usually a big wow moment. I mean,
They will.
definitely, there were a lot of wow moments in Keeley's show last year for me. That's when they revealed the new Star Wars game. That's when they revealed the new Star Trek game, and I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. You know, so we'll see what happens. I'm a lot like I just like to be surprised. I like to go in there not expecting anything, because if I'm not expecting anything really, I can't come back and be let down. Oh, I didn't see this. I didn't see that. It was a crap show. No, stop that. You know, I've said this for the 2 years I've been on the show. I've said that I don't like to try to tell them what I think they should be showing. Let them do their thing, and if the show falls flat for me, that's okay. But if I'm not expecting specific things, then it's less likely to fall flat. You know.
Well, it's true. It's just like Woman had just put. I just want new games, and that's what the majority of people want to see. Just some fun new games. It is.
Yep.
Well,
I would like to see that they're on track to get into their. Because I know we're still in COVID, they are still in a half home, half at work status for a lot of their stuff. Yeah. But I would like to see that they're on track to get onto their. We have so many studios now that we can start rolling out at least one a quarter really big games. That is starting to take fruition over the next year or so. You know, and of course then the AA and some of the lesser titles that will be on Game Pass. Let those start rolling in as well. You know.
Yeah, they shouldn't. Yeah, they're always with the once a quarter. It's still a bit of a pressure for the studios. It's a game every 3 months. It's a bit. Do you know what I mean?
When you're pushing 30 studios, once they're rolling, it should be pretty much. You know, but the thing is, you have to get them into that momentum first.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
you are correct. You know, he said that last year or year before, and people were like, "How come it hadn't started? How come it hadn't started? How come it?"
Yeah,
it's like,
dude,
slow your roll. Yeah.
It will take a few years. That will.
Yeah.
You are right.
But once it gets rolling, I mean, it should be good for us as a gamer. We should never be lacking. Oh, there's no new games to play.
I think what
not a problem.
In that context is, although he said game every quarter, I think what you say, like you've got like Halo Infinite, I think what he might mean is in some of the games it would be like a big Forza drop DLC as well. I think that would be included.
I think so too, but I do think that once they get all, well, I mean, how many studios are they up to now? How many big studios are they up to?
A lot. I don't know exactly.
I mean, so
it's something like 32 to 35, I think.
Is that it?
Like
that.
Yeah.
Come on. Embrace has got 120. Come on, let's sort this shit.
Yeah, but see, now I mentioned this last week. I don't know if it was on this show, but things like Embracer is an investment group. They're not actually hands-on involved in what's going on in each one of those investments.
They're more hands-off than Microsoft are.
Yeah, they are, because it's an investment to them. That's all it is. They don't get involved in the day-to-day muckety muck like Microsoft can. You know, and so I think it's a little bit different. I never compare what Microsoft does with what Embracer does or with what Tencent does.
Yeah. True. Also, welcome to Trinity, the Rocking Warrior.
Hey, Trinity, how you doing?
Nice to see you. Safu wants to see a Microsoft studio create a game from a Japanese IP. That'd be interesting. That they are trying to do things out there. They are, from what I understand.
Yep. Even the other day during the accessibility summit, one of them mentioned that Phil and some others were out in Japan trying to work out some stuff. So.
See, we've got our insider in Paul. He knows his stuff.
What's that?
We said we've got our insider. Phil's in Japan
yeah.
again.
No, they just happened to mention it that they've been over there, and I've been saying all year they've been working with Japan, especially on the cloud side and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll lead to some stuff in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always like these things for what they are. I have great expectations, but it's not the temper my expectations. Nothing specific to me except maybe like I do want to see some play of Starfield at this point. Even I do, and I've been the biggest Starfield supporter for the last 2 years, and even I'm like, okay, I want to see how this game actually looks. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully this year there's more gameplay than CGI.
Yeah.
Because even I did hear comments that I don't know whether they were true or not. You could probably tell me, Paul, that apparently the last showcase, Xbox did. Phil wasn't 100% happy. He said there was still too much CGI for his liking. I don't know whether that was right or not. I don't know.
I've never heard that officially.
No, so it probably wasn't true. Who knows?
Yeah.
A
lot of times people throw that out there just to stir up the console wars.
Yes, no, that's probably completely made up. It was. Removable. You got any thoughts on anything you'd like to see?
Yeah, I think Miles on Twitter kind of mentioned something similar to this topic, and I came up, and I'm going to say the same thing as I said to him on Twitter. It's been a while since we heard or seen anything about augmented reality. So anything software and hardware related. Obviously, I'd like to see games. Obviously, I want to see that, but I'm thinking like trying to think outside the box here. I'd like to see, is the augmented reality just stopped completely, or is that still in the works? I'm seeing a lot of augmented reality coming through technology-wise from other areas. In Ray-Bans, for instance, has just released an augmented reality glasses, which you can utilize to click with your TikTok video sort of thing. So augmented reality, even VR is now getting slimmer and thinner. And I'm just wondering, is Microsoft gonna, the HoloLens, is it gonna come to fruition?
Yeah, Google Glass version 2. No, oh God, no.
Oh God, please, no. But you see what I'm saying? They did the HoloLens. It was. Everyone was like, "Ooh, this looks good." Why not? I'm hoping maybe that would be something really cool. Imagine if a bit like you could take your Series S because it's nice and portable, and you could just plug into your glasses and just augment reality your game to that. I got animated shaking his head, going, no,
it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It's the comment
that was more
highlighted.
that was more to the silly comment. Stubbs put on the screen. Come on.
Oh, right. I missed that, but there you go. Yeah, so that's something I would like to see outside of the games, the gameplay, reduction in CGI. But yeah, that's something I'd like to see. And also, this is probably leads into Cerebral, more news about accessibility in terms of hardware and software.
They don't tend to do that during these things. Those which I kind of wish they would, but
yeah, they did do it for the. Oh my God, my memory's bad now.
The accessibility controller?
Yes. So
yeah,
it's not as if it hasn't been done. It's just it's not it's not been done often. Again, I'd just like to see something. I'm thinking outside the box here compared to the amazing set of games that we're probably going to be looking at. There you go.
Yeah.
Nothing else then? Removable.
The trouble is, again, I'm going to be like Cerebral. I'm going to hold off, really desperately looking for. I've got some games in my head, but it's one of those things. I'm going to be a little bit cautious. If I don't say anything, maybe I won't jinx it. So I'm going to hold off.
You hold off your excitement for potentially Gears 6. I know
it's going to be. Gears first person mode is going to be superb.
First person? No. We ain't Halo.
Yeah, you'll make your own
Yeah.
character, be first person. You'll be able to chat with Dom on your right, chat with
but you'll be first person, and you'll have all these costume choices.
That's
and,
right. The loot boxes
and-
alone
yeah.
is going to be making it worth it.
You of course you won't be able to see any of this pretty stuff that you got, but it'll be there.
It'll be worth it.
Mate,
It'll be
remember-
worth the 40 quid just for that one loot box alone.
Your friends will have to
Axel.
take us. Your friends will have to screenshot you so you can see it.
Exactly. And welcome to Axel. Thanks for popping in, mate. I really appreciate it.
He's trying to get us to avoid making fun of his game.
Oh, yes.
I haven't even looked at it really. To be fair, the Gotham Knights shit. People keep.
Oh,
saying
Gotham
it's
Knights
good.
looks awesome. I want to see more of that. Yes, yes.
Normally,
Everybody
the
going,
high
oh, it
res-
looks no better than it would on the
Yeah,
PS3. I'm like, shut
Yeah,
up.
but what gets me is normally with games like that, you should really look at the full video on YouTube, the high res, because Twitter, from what I understand, they, what's the word? A lot of the,
Bird?
no,
Sandfox.
it's compressed down. The quality
Yeah,
goes down.
it is. Yeah, it
on
is.
Twitter.
Of course it is, yeah.
So you should really look
It
on
is.
YouTube for the highest quality version, really.
There is a 4K version of that video. I watched it in 1080 because of the connection at work, but once it launched, I did watch the 1080 version. It's okay. I'm not without my doubts on that.
Hey,
But-
you know what? As long as the story is okay, I don't care. You know, I mean, as long as it looks good, you know, it doesn't have to. You know, as long as the story, it's supposed to be a story-driven game. It doesn't, you know, as long as it doesn't look pixelated and crap. You know, it doesn't have to be. Not every game has to look like, you know, you can reach out and touch it, whatever, you know. But
Yeah,
you know,
a fair point. You have so.
I'll go.
Yeah, you go animate.
I'll go.
if you
I'll go. So with this Bethesda Xbox showing that we've got, I think we're into a catch-22 situation for what we want, for what all of us want, because there's comments in the chat there that says, I want to see games, yet also comments in the chat that says, well, I don't want to see games if it's not if it's past 2023. Now, where do they go with that? It's a catch-22 situation. I mean,
Very hard.
we would all love to see gameplay of Indiana Jones, and we would all love to see the one Rare's doing that. I forgot that they didn't realize what they were going to do with it. We would all love that. See, do we? The question I have to ask myself, because I'm like Paul, I don't want to get too excited, because do you know what? I like a surprise. I want to sit there and go, Jesus Christ, I love that. I really do. I really do. Or not Jesus Christ, whatever, yeah.
yeah.
Just whoever, yeah. I really love
Cerebral
that.
Paul, I'd love that.
Cerebral Paul, I love that. I might start.
Yeah.
It's a turn of phrase. It's fine.
I will say one thing I did like about they did last year, since you brought that up, is last year they said they weren't going to go to anything that would be released through the end of this year, so 18 months. And I kind of hope they keep that up, because that way we're not looking at stuff that's 3, 4, or 5 years out. We're looking at stuff that's going to hit by the end of 2024 or, you know, early 2025.
But we know we're in a time of delays and things, and delays happen
Right.
and things like that, and concept art is something great. So we all want to see a roadmap of what they want to do. So I want to see the future of games, but a lot of people don't. I mean, I also want to see more of the games I've already seen. Like I've mentioned, Indiana Jones, Fable. Please, God, can I get a release date for Forza? Please, I need to know that's coming this year, because that's going to be something I'm going to get sucked into. It really is. It's just,
yeah, I would expect to see some big news on Forza at this point. I would think so.
The last we saw of that, it looked absolutely fantastic. And what I'm hearing from what I've seen trying to follow Turn 10 in their announcements and things, it might well be the best looking game that comes out on the Series X. It might be. I'm just throwing it out there because they've always been great at that kind of thing. They've always been the standout studio. So I'm hoping to see big things from Forza if it turns up. But again, conversely, do I want to see more CGI from Fable? No, I want to see. I want to know when it's coming. So for me, it's a catch-22. I want to see what's coming, but also see what I've already seen. New games I'm not bothered about right now.
Yep, and I do think they need to avoid specific dates unless they really know they're locked down. Because
absolutely,
because I'd be more than happy with third quarter 2023 or whatever. Then on this date, because we know they're still having trouble making dates. They may still have trouble making dates this year. So
of course they are. Yeah.
So I think plus that takes away a lot of the boohoo narrative when they don't quite make that exact date. Which would be nice. It'd be nice to be able to open up my Twitter on November whatever and not see that Harry Potter's been delayed and hearing here we go again, blah blah blah.
Well,
for the next,
it's already delayed until December, so that's
okay. Oh, I missed that one.
Hogwarts Legacy is already confirmed as now going to December.
Oh, dang it! I wanted that 3 weeks before Starfield to play Hogwarts Legacy. Now I don't have that.
No, so it's already Hogwarts Legacy has already been.
See that's why, like I just said, the issue with issuing exact dates, because if they would have just said fourth quarter, they'd still be within their window, or winter 2023, or 2022.
I'm happy with it's there or thereabouts. They're not going to want to launch in November, right? And they're giving themselves a few more weeks for Starfield to either bomb or get people playing it and used to it and stuff. And they're not going to want to launch in Microsoft's big game this year.
Well,
right?
Well, if that what's that?
Redfall.
Redfall
comes the other
one. That's rumored to be December. But then again, who knows?
But then again, how big is that going to be? Because that's another.
I think that's again they'll probably push back till next year. But
that's another situation where we're back for blood, where it's one of those games that's trying to take on that mantle of Left 4 Dead, and the problem is with that, the same as Back 4 Blood. I mean, Back 4 Blood was a really good game. However, Left 4 Dead was the first experience we had of that type.
It was.
So nothing's going to match the first experience, is it? Nothing. No. Nothing's going to live up to the hype.
Nope.
Unless it's absolutely amazing, and I'm not sure how you can make that type of game so amazing that it's going to. The world's going to look. I don't know. Back 4 Blood was very good. I'm not saying Back 4 Blood was a bad game at all. I'm just saying that everyone was expecting it to be better than Left 4 Dead, and it wasn't.
And that's very hard to do.
Of course it is. Because, like I said, Left 4 Dead was our first time. Essentially, in that kind of
survivalist run and gun,
where we were all connected, and we were all forced into a party, and we all did that. It was,
but it also did have a few different modes as well.
Sorry, just interject. Boardman Gamer's saying that Redfall never actually had a release date, so how can it be delayed?
Is that true?
Unless its release date was like end of year 2022, and I believe it was or winter 2022.
It was holiday 22, I think.
It was. Yeah. Technically, that's a release window, not a release date. So.
Yeah, right. And remember, winter goes into January and stuff.
Yes, it does. It's still bloody cold right till.
January. Yeah. Well, winter by season actually goes into what? March.
That's true.
January, February, March is winter.
Yeah.
A good point there. You have. Yeah, some good ones there. VJ, if you got anything you're excited to see, I know one game I can think of. You definitely are.
Yeah, Silk Song.
Yes, I doubt it.
I think I did the watch along with Boom last year, and and ultimately, I would like to see progress in relation to what was shown last year. And just so we're clear, transparent, I gave last year's show 10 out of 10, and even though the rest of the panel on Boom Show were humming and hawing with 7s and 8s, and I gave it that not in comparison to other platform holders or publishers, because that's kind of idiotic, right? And just very divisive and conflictive, as you know, right? But in terms of what Xbox showed, what they previewed, what they teased, and how all of that connected with its fan base, because I totally understand what Animated is saying, is that at the end of the day, not no one, individual is the same. We've all got our quirks and so on and so forth. And some of us want to see games that we're going to play imminently, and some of us thrive on the pleasure of viewing future promise. So I think that they've got to get that balance right. And I think they did get it right last year. But what they also got right is, because they've got Game Pass, was that they delivered something immediate, which was, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it felt like it was immediate, because when they announced that Game Pass would receive Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I can't remember if it was at the show or not, but it kind of feels like it was. Anyway, so if they can get that balance right, they'll regardless of what games they show, I think if they can get the balance of the show right and they can show progress, I think that's ultimately why I'm going to sit down and watch it with Boom this year. And then obviously I think you're doing a post show on or something like that, Stubb. So hopefully I can join you for that. And I say this again, since Xbox is on its own trajectory and it's building that, whatever it is that they're building, that foundation, or they're building on top of the foundation, or whether the games are in conceptual stage, where we saw a few of those trailers last year in terms of Fable and Perfect Dark and so on and so forth, or whether they've got games in alpha, right? And when games are in alpha, often you'll find that the game is not viewable, because typically games are in multiple pieces until they're put back together again, right? And I don't know if Xbox would really want to disrupt, certain games that are within development, and they may want to, because they're not stressed about the release date, or if they're targeting it for it to be released, and they'd rather leave the studio alone, because actually preparing something for any major event is incredibly time consuming, and it's not 5 guys sitting there producing a trailer. It's actually the whole studio has to prepare it, pretty much. That's my experience anyway. So in terms of games, I don't want to be specific just for first party, because like now we're coming up to the second part of 2022, and so I'm always sort of inwardly looking, right? Because regardless of the spectacle of the summer, right, which is going to be a pseudo E3, right? Whether it's Microsoft and Bethesda, Sony, if they have something planned, perhaps they don't, and then you've got and Microsoft do have something, and remember, it always ties in, because it's for shareholders as well as us consumers, because June ties in with their financial year end. I guess you guys know that anyway, right? So if we just go sort of broad strokes, I personally, when Octopath Traveler came to Game Pass, I was beside myself. It was a complete shock and surprise. It was one of the best games I played last year, and I know that I've probably eaten RemovableSanity's ear off with that. And then I mentioned to him last night, I'd love to see Triangle Strategy. Yeah, what's that?
Yep.
So I'd like to see Triangle Strategy announced. I don't know if it will. These are just, my own selfish, inwardly looking perspective, because I want to plan my 2022. So the other thing is, again, Silk Song's been delayed, and it's actually came out at the same time as the original Horizon Zero Dawn. So it's actually taken longer to develop than the sequel of Forbidden West. So what I'm hoping is that perhaps Silk Song might be multi-platform this time around. So if they hopefully they might announce that. Starfield is an obvious one, because that's going to be if I spent 250 hours on Elden Ring, I'm a little bit concerned how much time I'll end up spending in Starfield. Again, I don't know what the game is, but I hope it's something that I would want to play. And alongside that game, Hogwarts is another title. And I'd be amiss here if I didn't mention God of War Ragnarok. And then you've got Gotham Knights, which I know the Rocky Moria Gamecast, who I thought was a bloke, is probably a nice lady.
It's Trinity.
Trinity. Has she been on the show before?
No, she hasn't. We'll try and get her on at some point.
Yeah, shame on you.
I have tried, though. I have tried. She's quite a busy lady.
Probably because she has pineapple on her pizza and you've just dismissed her out of hand. Anyway, my point being, the other game she mentioned was Gotham Knights, right? Now, I'm on the fence with this game, like I was with Guardians of the Galaxy, because if you don't remember, I did say I think it's Game Pass fodder, and Gotham Knights might be good, but it could easily be destined to become Game Pass, be on Game Pass. So I'm not sure about that, and I'm caveating all of this is that this is subject to release and subject to me being able to get my hands on a PS5 without having to pay $1,000, which I refuse to do. But so yeah, that's where I am. So I'm kind of tired, because the first E3 I went to was it wasn't called E3 then, back then it was called CES, was back in '91. And I've been to the Tokyo Game Shows, I've been to the ones in Germany, so on and so forth. So for me, I think I'm a bit like what Removable Sanity said, is that, look, you know what, I'm just really relaxed. I've got games to play right now, and I'm probably at the age now where it's just going to be, you know, a really good time just to sit back and observe where Microsoft are in terms of, you know, where we think they should be and where they think they should be, and that sort of belief versus facts and reality. And I think that's really important for me to see. And as long as I see progress, I'm good with it, because out of all of their studios, there's obviously, you know, Playground Games that kind of, for me, sits at the top, because, you know, Fable's, you know, a franchise I really enjoyed, even though I never got to finish 3, I think it was. It might have been 2. So the new one kind of hits the notes. The trailer hit the notes, or the high sort of broad strokes in terms of what I wanted it to be. And I hope Albion makes it back. But again, we only saw the trailer last year, and I just don't think that Fable will be in a position to be shown right now. I think it may even be next year. But, you know, again, because they've got Game Pass, as long as they get the balance right in terms of imminent releases, you know, mid to long term releases between, when I say mid to long term, I mean between now and the end of 2023. Starfield's been committed for the end of the year. Not sure if it's a game for me yet. And Future Promises, as Animated was saying, in terms of, look, I'd love to see a little bit of Indiana Jones, and I'd love to see that as well. I'm not sure if it's for everybody, but, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, just a really good, nice, you know, balanced show, a really good outing for everybody. Because I think Phil's already come out and said, right, he's really excited for the show. I can't remember what show I was on. I think it might have been Booms. And you know what?
Yeah, he definitely has said he said we're really going to see some exciting stuff.
Yeah, he did. I think you're spot on there, Paul, because look, at the end of the day, he's in a privileged position where he's able to sort of leisurely, you know, sit back in his, you know, private cinema with Matt Booty making him a cup of tea, and Aaron Greenberg bringing him a plate of donuts, and he's leisurely able to sit back and sort of peruse every single Xbox game in development and figure out what should be presented, what the order of those games should be presented, to maximize the participation of the audience and the press. And look, I'm not someone that sort of goes on somebody else's word, because there's a saying, isn't there? Authority should never be the truth for you. Only truth is the real authority, and that can only be perceived by the perceiver. So, and that, unfortunately, us guys are going to have to wait until June the 12th to see the truth of it, right, and what it means to us on an individual basis.
Yep.
I'll just shut up now.
By the way, somebody pointed out that the date they're doing it is the same date they would have had it if E3 was taking place. So a lot of this was already wheels in motion, and
Paul,
so they. What's that?
Paul, no, I'm sure June the 12th is National Pizza Day with pineapple.
I swear to. Oh.
But if any of you
It's going to be a fist fight.
You don't notice that I got the date of the show wrong. I put the 16th of June. I did. DJ called me and said,
I was going to say,
what's the show on the 16th of June?
Yeah.
You mean there's going to be a drive-by, not a fist fight?
But yeah, good
the pain
on what's going to come. I mean,
yeah. But I mean, it's cool that they instead of pulling the plug and changing everything up, they said, well, we've already got the venue, we've already got everything in line, you know, we've already started planning everything. So even though they pulled the big show, we're still going to do our thing on this day that we were going to do it. So I think.
Do you think they're going to announce any acquisitions?
No more acquisitions for a while. No,
the eyes are on the prize.
No
acquisition.
Now the closest they could do is they could announce some work with deals. You know, we're going to work in conjunction with
partnerships.
Partnerships.
Yeah, they can't until they've got the current one under wraps.
Any more attention removal on them.
What I'm hoping they're going to announce. What I'm hoping they're going to announce is I can play Forza as a beta on that night. Open beta. That's what I want.
They have done that before, haven't they? Yeah, they have announced games you can play on that day. Yeah,
it's in testing under NDA. I've tried to get in, but the boat let me in.
You're not.
Probably because they know you have a big mouth. They know you have a big mouth, and you would never honor the NDA.
You know what? If I had been invited, I'd have never said this. I would never have said it at all. So not a chance. So
Yeah, but this could be a
I think-
catch-22. Maybe he's not saying it so that he actually has said it
Yeah.
because he actually is in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Broken NDA.
Guys,
That's the case.
you'd all know personally if I was playing Forza, right? You'd all know.
No,
I'd be playing,
no, not at all.
I'd be playing
No.
something I couldn't
I was
talk
gonna
to
say-
about.
I was going to say, removable. If given that America is Microsoft country, right, from a European perspective, and given that Microsoft in itself as a corporation is an acute example of power, resource, and influence that can change the landscape of legislation, law, government, and even, well, totally, change the landscape or design of a given industry, right? What was your thought process behind them potentially announcing another acquisition? When given all of that, I sense that and I don't put it past them, but I sense because they will flout, or flaunt the aforementioned attributes that I've just mentioned, in terms of wanting the Activision and Blizzard deal to sort of sail through relatively unscathed. There was a question in there somewhere.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, the question was how did I come up to that conclusion? What was that question? I think, and the question, I suppose, it wasn't an acquisition I was thinking of. Is what else would they announce that would blow us away in terms from that aspect? And I suppose acquisition was probably the wrong terminology. I think, as you said, partnerships was probably the better and correct terminology there, in terms of what they could announce that people, as Animated said, and it'll probably be left to the literally last 3 minutes of the show that people just go,
Gears
and then
6. That's what it is. Gears 6.
Set
God.
the Twitter first on fire.
Right.
And I was just thinking, what would do? What would do that besides obviously, Fable in game, gameplay for the last 30 seconds of gameplay play. And to me, it would be a partnership or an announcement of an unknown game that was just going to be we're all waiting for, because there was still some that we haven't heard about, isn't it? As a Perfect Dark, have we had
that or betas for Starfield or Forza? Any of those things would.
I mean, I was just going to say, I didn't know if StubzGaming said Dirty Sex or Gear 6 because his voice was.
Gears
But
6.
both?
I'm quite positive about seeing Starfield now. I am. But I think it might be, obviously, because I'm not a Bethesda fan. I think might be quite a good game.
Yeah. I think that there might be, hopefully some sort of DLC for Sea of Thieves. Maybe Pirates Pineapple Pizza Bonanza, something like that.
He's really going for how many
You're
times
really
now?
doing it to see. Why did I
He's
come in here tonight?
really putting.
I could have went.
Really,
I could have went.
Yeah.
Had a bite to eat. Relax until Wilmy's show. But
Do you
now
know,
I'm going to go into Gaming Beyond the Box. Now I'm going to go into Gaming Beyond the Box.
Wilmy's going to add it on there.
Yeah.
Wilmy's going to start off with it.
Pineapple.
VJ, I'm gonna have to say you're laying the pineapple on thick there, dude.
I love it.
Welcome. Big chunks of pineapple on top of each other, sort of thick.
Good thing I don't come up seasick.
Welcome to Transformational Gaming. It normally comments after the show, but it's nice to see you live. Thanks for popping in.
Happy streaming. That's what people say to me when I go to the bathroom. Happy streaming, That's it.
But now there's been loads of great comments on what
I always get thanks for popping in.
Yeah.
I get who the hell are you? Get out of here.
Yeah.
No, there's been some good comments tonight, Raz, on what you think is going to be shown. I'll be happy if the coalition show a Gears project. I will. And I'd love to prove people that keep saying it's not Gears.
Will you though? Will you be happy, Stubbs?
Well, to be fair, I'd be happy if they they revealed a game that wasn't Gears, because they're a very credible studio.
Removable. I think you're being a bit disingenuous there. He won't be happy. He'll be asleep.
6 p.m. British summertime. I don't think I will be.
VJ, what is going on with you today, sir?
I'm loving it. I am loving the fire.
You're just full of the vinegar today, dude. Full of the vinegar. What's going on?
Right. I want to hear you like this, VJ, on Boom Show. You want to say this? You want to do this on Boom Show?
No, it's just.
I think he'd be kicked off.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to. Yeah. I don't know. I do speak a lot on that show, but I never get any feedback. I don't know why, but there you go.
But
We're
no,
happy to give you feedback. So
It's-
cerebral, isn't it? Right.
Well,
And
feedback with
it's
pizza
good.
and pineapple, I'm all
It's
for it.
been good to have.
You know,
Vince,
usually he's
Some
picking on
fire.
Stubbs because Stubbs never finishes a game that he starts. So
Never even finishes a sentence.
I wander off though into a different direction. But yes, it's been a good show, and it's been a good little prediction show on the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. It has. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please drop a like and share, and thanks Ash for coming on from Xbox Live Party Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks
oh,
for
he does
coming on.
speak. Wow. Okay.
I was just letting you go at the pineapple pizza. You know what? It's like 11 p.m. This is like bedtime normally for me. I like I say, we with our podcast we do it at 8, and we're normally done by 9:30. I'm normally in bed. I'm not gonna lie. I don't live the exciting life nowadays.
But yeah,
Laying
thanks
there
for
with his
coming on.
Stubbs waifu pillow.
That's
No,
it.
no,
Yeah,
he's not.
rubbing
He's
the
on
pineapple up against it.
He's on his Domino's Pizza app right now, ordering one in.
That's it.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks
Ah.
coming on. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find us on the XBL Party Podcast channel on YouTube. We do sort of daily content. We do like reviews, live streams, podcasts. We pump it out. Main sort of show at the moment is on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. British time, which is the XBL Party Podcast UK show with me, Redders, and the Ginner, and we just talk about games and banter. Yeah, so that's probably the best place you can find me. And like I say, I'm on Twitter, and I'm a Ghostbuster with a 0 instead of an O.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been good to have you on. It's just fitting as I got you on when we shifted the show earlier. You were like, "Oh, that's much better for me."
Yeah, definitely. I would die a slow death if I'd had to come on at 10 p.m. today, especially because we did our show yesterday as well. So back to back is it's been good fun though, definitely. So thank you for inviting me back on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and Cerebral Paul, thanks for joining us.
Oh,
on
no
the
problem.
show.
Even though I was late, because you're
slightly
not
late.
going to change the time on me again next week, are you?
Yeah,
You're
it's
not gonna
3
get earlier.
No, it's no 9
Paul, he
p.m.
won't-
is what
he
all
won't
we can
change-
do.
He won't change the time. He'll just change the menu and have pineapple on pizza.
I swear to God.
Your
By the
two
way,
games, when you play that, it's going to be a nightmare.
If you think for an instant that if we ever meet at one of the events in person that I'm going to forget all about this, boy, are you mistaken.
VJ is going to walk over with a pineapple pizza and hand it to you.
Thanks for the slice, Paul.
Be right in his face, I think it might get.
I would just say wear some really thick shoes. Okay, I'm just saying.
This show should be renamed Pizzagate.
Yeah.
He's going for it tonight. You're
Ah.
on fire, VJ.
Anyway, you can find me at Twitter as CerebralPaul1. You can find me at Twitch and YouTube at CerebralPaul. You can find me Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. UK time at the Xbox Ambassadors channel, because I do a stream there, Gaming Differently with Cerebral Paul. You can find me.
Nice.
You can find me in 2 hours on Gaming Beyond the Box with Wilmy Hood and the gang. We're gonna have some fun time. He's bringing the cake. He's bringing the KY jelly. I mean, KY Bob is joining us. So should be a slippery show. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Paul. It's been good. RemovableSanity, thanks for coming on.
Hello. No, much appreciated for having me on. Of course, it's fantastic to have I'm a Ghostbuster on. And of course, my fantastic other panelists who always bring the fun, the humour, and in the case of VJ, the pineapple. It is a fantastic show to hear, and I always enjoy coming on here. It does kind of cheer me up throughout the day. And if you're bored, really, really desperately bored, you can probably find me, RemovableSanity, on YouTube. Mine's Xbox, and Twitter.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Removal. It's been fun today, especially the fire from VJ. I'm impressed. I am. Not used to it. I'm not. And thanks for coming on, Animated Evil.
Oh, as always, Guy, you are very welcome. And you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure to work again with Ash. I'm a Ghostbuster. He is an awesome guy, and he's got an awesome channel. So I second his stuff. Go and check it out. It's very worth it. It really is. I follow them and all sorts of stuff, and I've been on a couple of times, which, you know, thanks, dude. Yeah,
Making me blush, mate.
it's right. It's all good. It's all good, dude. Because you don't know what. Being honest, your channel is coming on leaps and bounds. It's absolutely fantastic, and anybody who's listening right now needs to jump on and have a look. See, if they don't like it, they can fuck off again, right? If they like it, they'll probably stay around, which they will.
Yep.
So, like I have. So you can find me animated_evil on Twitter and YouTube. Animated Evil 857 on Xbox and Twitch. The content creation has stopped at the moment just because I'm trying to build this thing going on behind me. However, I will get back into it. I will be back on. I've got videos aplenty to supply you all. And again, Stubbs, VJ, Removable, Cerebral, and of course, Ash, I'm a Ghostbuster. It's been a pleasure this evening.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming on. And I've been hearing in the chat, everyone keeps saying we really owe Luke Steele a show. Luke Steele is the guest next week, people. So there you go. He's the guest next week.
Mm-hmm.
He's back on. After me cancelling the show, after eating a mango, I ate mango and it made me ill. Really
Oh, it's that excuse. Is it a mango that you ate that made you ill?
I wish it was
a mango tree, my honey and me. I'm just saying.
I wish I was lying, but it was not. But no.
You sure it just wasn't a dodgy kebab?
Wasn't a kebab.
You're not saying no.
No, it wasn't a dodgy kebab, trust me. So, Safu's asking for a link off Paul. I don't know what link we're asking for here.
The OnlyFans link is Cerebral Paul
Stop
at
it.
OnlyFans.
No.
No, I think the Wilmy show later on. I think.
The Game Beyond the Box. It's actually, if you go to UT, I can actually pull it up if it's okay. Yeah, I'm a mod. I can drop it in the link. Hang on.
We've got loads of mods. In the chat.
So drop a link to the show you're on in a couple of hours, and then.
Yep.
Jobs are good.
Also, all the links from my regular stuff are in the tagged on the first post on my Twitter. So, just so you know. So.
I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, Paul, this time out because it's like 2 hours away and it's already 11 p.m.
Oh, whiny. I got to get up and go to work at 6 a.m. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. You've heard this excuse before, I think.
many a time.
But yes, everyone, thanks for popping in. Thanks for Trinity, Safu, Baldman Gamer, Draconius, Boomy Hood. Appreciate that. Suku was also in. Going back up the list. Transformational Gaming was in.
That's the link for tonight's episode that's been in. So for Game Beyond the Box.
And there's been a few more. But yeah, thanks for popping in, everyone. Please drop a like and share the show out. Please subscribe if you're new, and also please give us a 5-star rating on Spotify if you're listening after the fact, and a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It would really help the show out. But thanks everyone, and we'll see you all next week.
It's nice.